The Army football team used women and booze to help recruit players, reports the Gazette of Colorado Springs. Army self-reported the violation to the NCAA stemming from an incident that happened earlier this year, according to that same story. I'm Kerry Chow, joined by Craig Haubert, ESPN national recruiting analyst. Craig, what happened at the incident in question?
Well, this stems back to earlier in the year and was an issue that was handled during the spring, but as reports say, that there was a party bus that went down to the Palisades, and along with that, there were female cadets and a couple of cheerleaders that went along to that, and there wasn't the proper type of supervision along with that trip down, and that there were monies used from boosters to help pay for drinks and those type of things from the report. So it seems like there was a bit of an approach that you wouldn't expect from a service academy. So those are the initial reports as to what happened on that date.
The Army said it disciplined 20 cadets, but according to the story, the players involved are expected to play in Army's next game. So what was the punishment?
Well, the punishment was handled over the spring. That was handled internally from West Point, and players were held out of the spring game. So this stemmed back, as I said, from earlier in the year during the recruiting process in January, and I believe in an incident in February as well. So that's why it's not being reflected now. They felt like it's been handled internally, that players have already been disciplined, that the academy as well as the NCAA has already been notified. So all that has been handled already from an internal standpoint, and that from a playing standpoint, those infractions were handled and dealt with throughout the spring.
How will this affect Army's recruiting going forward?
Well, for Army and all these service academies, they have a very difficult time. It really is a uphill challenge for them, obviously, because there's certain requirements and expectations from an academic standpoint to get in, and then obviously there's requirements and expectations for you once you finish. You just don't finish, but you're expected to go on and give service time as well. So there's a lot to have to offer, and to try to find particular young men that are willing to not only meet those initial requirements to get in, but also willing to take on those challenges throughout their time there at the service academy.
Absolutely, and for a service academy, certainly measured by a different standard. According to the Gazette, a West Point spokeswoman said the academy didn't publicly detail the incident because it was handled administratively. Craig Haubert, ESPN national recruiting analyst. Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
For Craig Haubert, I'm Kerry Chow with your latest ESPN headline.